Hello and welcome to day 3 of my 2-week series on goal setting to goal getting. This is possibly going to turn into a longer series. We will see where we're at by the end of the 2 weeks. I'd rather spread it out a little bit more if I have to in order to make the information easy for you to implement and not overwhelm anyone. I know for me, it can be easy to get overwhelmed if there's too much information packed into too little time. So, just trying to find the right thing here. That being said, let's jump in. So first, for anyone who doesn't know, my name is J.L. Medeiros. I'm a self-expression artist and author of the amazing book that everyone should have as I break everything I own. It's called Explore, Embrace, Express, Dance, Prompts, Journal, 100 prompts to help you explore, embrace, express your creativity through movement. And it has lined pages for journaling, as well as a prompt with some additional information underneath. And don't mind my 2 fingernails that don't have nail polish. Constant hand washing means the nails just don't hold up. So in this series, I'll be looking over here a little. In this series, I'll be covering the knowledge I have to offer around not only setting, but getting your goals. If you don't like the word goals, because it can be associated sometimes with negative things like pressure, perfection, completely overhauling your life, which is not what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to just be like cozy, don't mind me. Instead, use the word desire, your desire rather than your goal, or your intention. If one of those words feels better to use than the word goal, then do that. As I said in the first video, this is not about pressure or perfection or overhauling our lives. This is about getting clear on what we want, why we want it, why we really want it, and how we're going to get it. So if you haven't already, I would highly suggest you go watch the first 2 videos. It will help you, almost spilled my coffee. It will help you get more use out of the following videos. So yesterday we asked, what do you want? Why you want it? Also, have you set goals in the past and not achieved them? And, be honest, be accountable. As mentioned yesterday, blaming other people doesn't really get you too far. It's very disempowering to put all the blame on someone else as to why things are not working. As much as possible, we want to be accountable. So thinking back on the past, goals that you've set that have fallen through, why did they fall through? What can you do to avoid that this time? Even if it's a different goal, still locating, acknowledging, figuring out what went wrong in the past when you set a goal and didn't meet it can help you avoid those pitfalls this time. So today, really quick, hopefully, it's because it's actually about time management. So let me see if I can keep this under 15 minutes. So, and today I just want you to explore how you use your time. Before I forget, because I can already tell I'm going to forget, I'm trying to get this done so I can get back to editing. One thing that's been really super, super helpful for me with my productivity, my creativity, is productivity sprints. You can find them on YouTube. They're free. Someone will be on live. Generally what happens is when the conversation begins, you have 10 or so, maybe 15 minutes, depends on how chatty things get, to talk, get to know people, say hello, whatever, in the chat box, and get to know your host. Then you'll have usually between 20 and 40 minutes. That is your time to write or, organize your closet or do whatever. You do whatever thing you need to do or want to do. Because I feel like this plant is growing out of my head with this angle. It's a little better anyway. Again, goals don't have to always be about getting more money or losing weight or organizing your entire house. Goals can be around pleasure-based activities. So you can use that 20 to 40 minutes to do whatever. It doesn't have to be productive. It can be something, I'm going to use this 20-minute sprint to just relax. I just want 20 minutes to just sit and just relax. And then at the end of the 20 minutes, you can jump back into the conversation. You can just keep doing what you're doing if you're in the flow. It's completely up to you, but I have found those to be very, very helpful. I am hoping to host some live productivity sprints soon. I would probably do it through Facebook if Facebook had the option of muting yourself when you're live, because the host always mutes themselves so that whatever noise they have going on isn't disrupting you. And of course, for their own privacy, for those 20 or 40 minutes, but we'll see. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do today is to look at how you honestly spend your time on an average day. And being like really, really honest. Don't say, I hardly spend time watching TV. If in reality you spend, 90 minutes to 2 hours a day or more spending, TV time. We got to be really honest with ourselves or this shit's not going to work. Don't say you're hardly on social media if you are on social media every single day. Or don't say I'm on social media every day, but I'm not on a lot. That's something I might say. Because generally I go out there, I make a post, I check my notifications, I might scroll for a few minutes and I'm generally off. But if I'm really, really like thinking about it, how many times a day am I doing that? Posting to a different group or jumping on to check a notification or a message. I know for me going forward, I'd like to schedule my social media time. So I know these are my hours that I'm available for social media and the rest have to be off limits for other things. Or don't, if the problem is dinner time takes forever, well, why does it take forever and how can you streamline that? There are ways. People do it. People figure it out and they make it happen. I guarantee you someone busier than you with less resources than you is doing the thing you want to do. I know that's the case with me. I know damn well there are people less qualified, less resourced, who have less time and are still doing the things I want to do. Okay, so I'm okay with getting real with myself. Hopefully you are too. It's not to say don't spend time on social media. Don't watch TV. It's just how much time are you doing? How much time are you investing in those things? And is that the amount of time that feels good to you? Knowing that every time you say, no, I'm going to watch TV instead of do this thing that I said I was going to do, it adds up, right? And there's nothing wrong with taking break days. There's nothing wrong with saying today I'm just going to watch TV all day or sit on social media all day. But just, I guess what I'm trying to say in a very long-winded way is make sure you're controlling your time. You're not just letting other things lead you. You're not just getting on TikTok and then, I might be on for 3 minutes. I might be on for 3 hours. Try to have some level of this is my boundary around social media. I don't go on until whatever feels good for you. It might be until I've done a certain amount of time on my project or my pleasure or whatever. It might be I don't go on before I've had lunch, or I don't go on until, or I'm not on after 7 p.m. because it screws with my sleep, whatever it is. But having some boundaries around, where you put your time, who gets it, for how long. You don't have to sit there and split up your day minute by minute. Just be aware, be honest and accountable about where you're putting your time So you're not using that as an excuse of why you can't get the thing done that you want to do. I got up at 7 o'clock this morning. Did I really want to, considering I didn't have to? No, but I know that for me, 7 to like 9 in the morning tends to be the quietest in the house. So I was willing to say, well, I really want my book published ASAP, my second one. So that meant getting up early instead of sleeping in. That has meant not checking some messages on Facebook. That has meant not on this cozy, cloudy day, not just soaking in the tub, but doing what I said I was going to do. And we got to, find the line. Where is the line for you between pushing to achieve what you desire and putting some discipline and dedication into it, whatever it is, even if it's pleasure, right? Versus taking time where it's like, I need this time away. I need this time to just relax. We don't want to go into burnout. I just saw 111. It's funny how twice in a row, 2 days in a row, I noticed just when I looked, it was 111. Anyway, we don't want to burn out. We don't want to put unnecessary pressure on ourselves as the plant is once again growing from my head. Okay, it's fertile ground, I guess, so whatever. We want to do this in a way that is sustainable. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint, right? Unless it's a very short-term goal, maybe it's a sprint. But as far as making goals and keeping goals and creating habits around them, it's a journey. It's a journey. It takes time to figure out what works, what doesn't. But do be aware of where am I putting my time? Is that where I want to be putting my time? Do I really need to rest today? Or am I just kind of saying it because I don't feel like doing the work? There's a difference between I don't feel like it because it would just be more fun to watch Netflix, which is fine sometimes, but if you choose that all the time, well, that's what you're going to have is a bunch of Netflix movies watched, maybe not your project done, or, your pleasure fulfilled in more, ways that go a little bit deeper than Netflix. So finding that balance between putting the work in, especially if it's more work-based, something that's going to take a little more effort than if your goal is like, I want to read more, that's already pretty pleasurable. But if it's something that's taking like effort and thought and it's forcing you to push a little bit more than you're used to, or maybe a lot bit more, make sure you're checking with yourself. Like, do I really need this? Do I really need this rest time? Can I do this thing even for a little while today? Or do I just need to completely have a day or two or a week away from it? And it's okay, but be honest with yourself. Don't let it become an excuse that's just because it's easier, that's what you're going to do. Make sure that if you're canceling your original plans to like rest or have fun, that you're like, yeah, you know what? That's what I've decided. That's what I really need today. And that's fine. Just don't let it be like this habit where you're just saying, today I need to watch Netflix just because it's easier. So finding that balance between being, disciplined and dedicated, but also finding the balance of pleasure and rest. And that's why, for me at the end of the year, my big thing was pleasure because I had put so much time into my first book and my second book in 1 year that it was a lot. It was a lot. And I could feel like the burnout really starting to like creep in heavy. So for the last couple of weeks, I have been doing a little bit of productivity. But when it feels like, nope, that's enough for today, I've walked away, which is something I didn't really do in the past. And I've also been making sure I take time for pleasure as well. Like if I'm going to spend 2, 3 hours, 4 hours in front of this computer today, I'm going to be sitting in the bath tonight for an hour and maybe 2. I'm going to watch a movie for a couple of hours with my husband. I'm going to take some time to balance the scales between work and play. All right, so screw the 15 minutes. I'm definitely by 20. That is hard line. So quickly, Look at how you honestly spend your time on an average day. How would that have to be adjusted to fit time in for your current desires? Does it mean going to bed earlier or later? Does it mean having a few social media free days to concentrate fully on yourself or something important to you? Does it mean prepping food once or twice a week, so you have time after dinner to study or play with your kids? Whatever that could be your desire too. I want to spend more time with my kids after dinner, playing with them, watching movies with them, going for a walk. Oh, I got my dogs right here. I can't say that. You get the point. It doesn't have to, again, be a pressure cooker goal. It can be a pleasure-based goal. They're both valid. They're both valid. In what ways can you realistically adjust your current schedule to accommodate time for your desires? Realistically. So if you're on social media, 4 hours a day right now, it's probably unrealistic to say you're just not going to go on for 3 days straight. Maybe that's realistic. Maybe what would be more realistic, if you're doing 4 hours, would be to do 3.5, and then 3, and then 3, then 2.5, and so on. You are the only one who knows what increments you need to do things in. But just be realistic. That way you can be successful. It feels good when you set a small goal and achieve it. It doesn't feel good when you set this huge, big picture goal and you're like, I'm so far from where I am to where I want to be. And it feels frustrating because I don't see how I'm ever going to close the distance. Don't do that to yourself. Be realistic. What can you realistically do to tweak your time, even just a little, to get a little bit more time for the thing you desire? So one last thing, remember, we are not overhauling. We are not overhauling. We are not overhauling our lives. We, in this group, we are making gentle, attainable shifts in mindset, time management, and action. That's what we're doing. That's it. And that is it for today. So thank you for watching again. If you'd like to check out my socials, you can find Explore, Embrace, Express on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. What else? You can check out the book on Amazon. And I am, once again, JL Medeiros, and I thank you for your time. If this was helpful and you would like to make a donation of $1 to $5, I will have a link in the comments or the description box, depending on where you're watching this. It is not an obligation. It's just an invitation to help support my videos and keep me in the position to keep making them. So, enough. Thank you. Until next time, take care and keep going after your goals. Dream until your dreams come true.